watch an anime that's set in the world of World War II, which is a little bit altered because there's this witch that flies on guns. No brooms here because this isn't Halloween. This is set in World War II. There's no time for that. Where she has these telekinetic powers where she can pretty much manipulate anything. She just talks to it and say, hey, go over there. Hey, hit that. Hey, shoot down that plane with that lance. Hey, grab all these swords and attack that tank that does absolutely jack shit to. Or she could just use the telekinetic power and touch that tank and grab that tank and throw it at another tank. Well, this is the anime for you.
What's up, guys? I'm Christina.
And I'm Chris.
And welcome to Average Anime Reviews, where we get to be reviewing some of our favorite animes that we have watched in the previous season. Now, before I get started, just so you guys know, there's going to be a few spoilers here and there in this review, so please take some precaution. And for this week's Average Anime Review, we get to be reviewing Shuumatsu no Izetta. This one is also known translated in English, Izetta the White Witch. Basically, with the plot, this takes place during World War II, where Izetta the White Witch has volunteered to defend the country of Eliastat against Germania. Now, basically, with the storyline, with the dialogues, it's very interesting. There's a bit of mysterious aspect here and there in this anime, only because it's very hard to tell which side or which person is patriotic and true to who. With this anime, it contains a lot of aspects of friendship and magic. If you put it in that way, kind of sounds like My Little Pony. But there's also a touch of military, as you can see throughout this whole anime, that's basically having two countries battle against each other. With the relationships as seen on the show, you can see with the two main characters, it turns out they did met up in the past before at a very young age, but they didn't really remember until recently in somewhere around the beginning of the series, which I find that to be really sweet. Now, as you guys can tell, basically with this anime, this takes place during World War II, so obviously there's going to be some historical references and accuracies. During World War II, it is basically the battle of the Allies against the Axis. If any case, it's basically Britannia, or Britain I would say, Britain and America versus Germany. Turns out with this anime, it goes in depth with the legend of the White Witch. Basically, prior to Izetta, her ancestor was the original White Witch, who apparently has powers and who can fly all around Europe wherever she goes. Basically, she fell in love with the Prince of Eliastat, which is the small country that is trying to defend itself against Germania. Basically, with the White Witch and the Prince of Eliastat, they kind of had some forbidden romance, but it didn't really work out in the end. Turns out that, well, the people of Eliastat back then didn't really warm up to the idea of having the White Witch around their country, which is very sad. But I gotta tell you guys, the fighting scenes with the White Witch, the main character herself, fighting against the army troops against the Axis is pretty badass. Instead of using a regular broom, she gets to rock basically some kind of heavy artillery gun, and basically gets to fly around Europe while defending off. And it's pretty sick. And the first main character is Izetta. And it turns out with Izetta, she's the last White Witch. Now I know what you guys are thinking, the White Witch. Does she rock a white outfit and white hair? And my answer to you guys is yes and no. Actually, to be honest, she does rock the white dress, but she doesn't have white hair. Turns out that she's a feisty one and she's rocking the red. Pretty cool. And even though that her ancestor was persecuted centuries ago, turns out that the people of Eliastat has grown and loved the idea of having Izetta around. Turns out she's a kind, down-to-earth, very humble woman, and she's very cute. Basically, she's very passionate of helping others and being sure that Eliastat is being well taken care of and not being invaded by enemy troops. She has a strong bond with the kingdom, and especially with the Archduchess. And the next main character, guys, is the Archduchess Fine, or should I say, Orfine Federica von Eliastat. Now, the way I seen Archduchess Fine, she is a beautiful woman. She has blonde hair. She is a strong woman who knows how to hold it down in her small kingdom. It may be small, it may be simple, but she knows how to hold it down and being sure that her people are well taken care of. In the beginning of the anime, as you can see, that turns out she wasn't originally the Archduchess. Basically, her father was still holding the power in running the country. However, a few episodes later, unfortunately, he died suddenly, and it turns out that Archduchess Fine took over and, well, basically began her battle against Germania. When it comes to Izetta fighting off against Germania, unfortunately the Archduchess has some very second plans and actually has a lot of concerns, to be honest. She is concerned of the safety of the White Witch and making sure that she comes home safe unharmed. And plus, it turns out in the anime, as you can see, the Archduchess is just like us. Turns out that she has a sweet tooth and loves to go down to the bakery and tries to go undercover whenever she can. Turns out she's kind of forbidden and still has to maintain her royal duties. Now overall, what do we think of this anime? Well, honestly, we actually love it if anything. And personally, this is one of my top 10 for the year. Now it's pretty cool. There's a lot of cliffhangers, there's a lot of great scenes, and it's pretty cool to see a witch brocking an artillery gun instead of a broom.
It's just a nice change. Like, sure, you can watch something like 91 Days where they're going like all reconnaissance and, you know, just backstabbing people. But this is really cool because you introduce a character, which is a witch, into an anime where it's set in World War II. Now, we could be wrong that it's not set in World War II, but from what it looks like, it's set in World War II. But it's just a nice change because what could have happened if there was a witch during World War II? All the possibilities, and those possibilities appear here. Her telekinetic powers, her flying on a big ass gun, is so cool. Instead of seeing dogfightings between two planes battling it out in the sky, you see this girl who's not armored or anything, just has her magic powers and her big ass gun, pretty much fighting it out, and pretty much even battle, which you will see in this anime. And it's really cool because being the last witch in the world, they use her as this propaganda icon to pretty much fear their enemies. And it works because in the beginning, they're like, oh, she's not real. But then when they show her real true colors of what she can do, they start to fear her. And people will fear her because she has these powers that pretty much can win a war if she does it right. If she is not on your side, well, you start to do some evil thoughts and you think, I have to do what's best for my country. And the chemistry between Fine and Izetta is great. Because Izetta was just a poor little girl, where back in the day, you would be ridiculed and burned to death because you are a witch. And Fine just comes in for just the good of heart, because she knows that she's a good person. And says, no, she may be a witch, but she's a good person. And that helps out with the anime and with Izetta, because she shows her true dedication. She wants to help. She wants to pay back what Fine did for her. And how can she pay her back? Well, she is a witch. She has ultimate powers, can pretty much win the war. And if we could recommend any animes that are similar to this, well,
turns out with the anime comparisons, there's also another anime. It's also known as Brave Witches. Basically, it's similar to this. You also have flying witches. Has a little different of a backstory, taking place in Europe, probably sometime during World War II, except there's a little bit of a difference in it. I believe that someday there could be a crossover between these two animes. In all honesty, I'm still waiting for that crossover. And overall, everyone, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. Overall, you guys, what did you guys think of this anime review? If you guys really enjoyed this anime review, give it a thumbs up. Plus, if you guys want to read the synopsis and more in depth of what the characters are all about, I'll be sure to leave a link down below, as well as a written anime review written by me. Plus, if you guys want to see all the crazy adventures that Izetta and Fine had to go through while fighting Germania, I'll be sure to leave the link down below for you guys to watch as well. And overall, everyone, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much again for watching, and I hope to see you next time at the next Average Anime Review. Take care! Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this week's Average Anime Review. If you guys really enjoyed this week's anime review, then click that like button down below. And if you're new to the channel and want to see more anime reviews, then click that subscribe button down below. If you guys are new and want to see more anime reviews that we've done in the past, then click on the links on the left. And once again, everyone, thank you so much for watching. We hope you have a great day and take care.